You are wondering what is the Rush Sugo special and how it exactly works. So let's dive into the new mechanic and explain everything about it. Here we have the new Super Sugo Fest Sanji. He is the first legend in the game that has the Rush Sugo special as a limit break ability, and yes, just like Final Tap or Super Tandem, this is a limit break ability that has the potential to be upgraded from level 1 to level 5, where it gains extra effects. Now of course, there's an activation requirement to that ability as well. That does not change throughout the levels. The only thing that is changing in the Rush Sugo special is the effect. It of course gets increasingly better the more you upgrade it. These are the basics though. We are going to revisit the requirement and even the effect through the demonstration in this video. So without further ado, let's jump into the quest and see everything in action. Here we are versus Queen. We have activated all of the specials that were needed, and we can very clearly see the indication that the Rush Sugo special is ready. We see the blinking Rush available icon on both of our units that have the Rush Sugo limit break ability, and that of course happens because we meet the requirements in said ability. We have 2 or more of the following characters in our crew in the final stage, since of course we have a bunch of Straw Hats, and our Sanjis have the correct slot. In this specific example, it's a Wano slot. Just like Final Tap, Rush Sugo also does not limit your character on only being captain. He can also be a crewmate and still activate the limit break ability, except of course if being captain is stated in the requirements. In order now to actually activate the Rush Sugo special, we need to initiate our attacking chain by tapping on one of the Sanji characters. The squares under the Rush available icon also indicate that, because Sanji we can see has the number 1 in the first square, meaning he needs to attack first for the Rush to activate, and when it does, meaning when we tap Sanji, he will go into a flare of attacks or a rush of multiple attacks, and as long as we keep hitting the perfect timing in those attacks, the rush will keep going, up until our HP allows it to, because each perfect tap in the rush attack reduces your HP by a certain amount. With this specific setup here, we have 6 taps during the Rush Sugo special, which will conclude if you either complete those 6 attacks or miss your timing at some point during the flare of attacks from Sanji. If you have a successful sequence, an animation will play out, and then you need to tap the next character to normally continue the chain with the rest of your crew, and we also get the effects that the Rush special provides. Let's tap Sanji here, initiate the Rush, tap another character that has Rush on them, here I press Sanji, we are into the flare of attacks, we lose HP, we hit all of the perfects needed, the animation plays out, it says finish, then we swap to another character and we keep attacking, here also planning our attacks properly to use the final tap of Luffy and Yamato as well. Now have in mind, when you tap the first character to initiate Rush, you need to follow up that tap by tapping another character that has the Rush letters on them. And I'm assuming these are the characters that are needed or listed in the requirements for Sanji to gain the Rush in the first place. If we assume the right column units are all Big Mom Pirates, after Sanji you either need to follow up the tap with Chopper or Jinbe. If you press one of the Big Mom Pirates on the right, the Rush won't work. Another thing to mention, during the flare of attacks, the perfect timing is not the same as Sanji's normal perfect tap timing. It is different because the attacks are faster. If your ship makes perfects easier to hit, that can still help with your timing though. Also, it does not really matter if after you initiate a Rush, you press Sanji, Chopper, Jinbe, Robin or Luffy in this case, Sanji will still be the character that is attacking during the sequence, since Sanji is the character that actually has the Rush Sugo special limit break ability and not any of the other Straw Hats. In my case, if I did not press the other Sanji as my second tap, and I chose Chopper for example, the Rush sequence would remain the same, the things that would change are first of all the order of attacks. It would be Sanji, Chopper, then everyone else, instead of Sanji, Sanji, then everyone else, which in retrospect would be better since Chopper is strength. And the other thing is that Chopper's character icon would be singled out for me to tap to of course have the correct timing during the Rush Sugo special, not the other Sanjis. A tip I can give you is to have the order of attacks you want planned out before you initiate the Rush Sugo special, because if you don't and you just enter the Rush Sugo special with all of the animations, the focus you have on getting the correct chain and also the red background, you might either get confused, discombobulated, or even not be able to decide on the spot what character you want to tap next. So pre-plan your attacks in your head to have less probability of messing up. To do that, of course, have all of your boosts and color advantage in mind. Talking about boosts, if we fail the Rush Sugo special timing during the flare of attacks, are we still getting the effect boosts from the Rush Sugo special limit break ability? Yes, we do. But of course, because we messed up the timing, our damage output will be less. Also in this example, you can see me tapping Chopper instead of the other Sanji as my second tap, but Sanji is still the one attacking. After the rush sequence is completed, unsuccessfully or successfully, then we will be called to attack with Chopper and hit a perfect with him and the rest of our units. Having the correct tap timing on all of the hits during the Rush Sugo special is not the easiest thing, definitely a harder mechanic than majority of things in One Piece Treasure Cruise, and the faster pacing of attacks during it, but also the timing of the character that we attack with definitely needs some getting used to. But I think that pretty much covers everything you need to know about the new Rush Sugo special mechanic. Hopefully my explanation was good enough for you to understand it better. If I forgot to mention something and left it out, you can definitely add it in the comments below. Also feel free to ask any questions. But my question to you is, do you like this new Rush Sugo special mechanic or not? I have a poll, you can check it out by clicking the link in the description and tell me your opinion in the comments as well. As always, thank you so much for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.